It was a damp afternoon on August 3rd, 2025, when Mariana Costa, a 32-year-old art restorer, parked her car in front of the Mansion of Shadows, an abandoned Victoria and man on the outskirts of Curitiba. Pran. The sky was heavy with grey clouds, and a cold wind whispered through the twisted trees surrounding the property. Beside her, her younger brother Lucas, 25, adjusted a backpack filled with filming equipment. "Are you sure about this?" he asked, looking at the imposing facade with its broken windows and ivy creeping up the walls. Mariana nodded, her eyes gleaming with determination. "It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The owner hired me to restore the antique mirrors, and you're going to document everything from my portfolio." The mansion had belonged to a wealthy industrialist, Otavio Menezes, who mysteriously vanished in 1975. Leaving the property sealed for decades, local rumors spoke of shadows moving in the hallways and mirrors reflecting figures that weren't really there. The current owner, a distant nephew named Ricardo, had offered Mariana a generous sum to do the work, but with one condition: don't touch the mirror in the main hall. It's dangerous. She laughed off the superstition, but Lucas was uneasy. "What if it's true?" he muttered, following her to the front door, which creaked as it opened. The interior was a maze of elegant decay. Dusty chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Worn carpets covered the wooden floor, and the air smelled of mold and old wax. Mariana carried a box of tools and cleaning products, while Lucas set up the camera on a tripod. "Let's start with the main hall," she said, pointing to a spacious room with walls lined with oval mirrors framed in faded gold. In the center stood a larger, full-length mirror with an ornate frame, draped in a black cloth. "That must be the forbidden one," Lucas joked, but Mariana ignored him, fascinated by the craftsmanship. They began work with enthusiasm. Mariana polished the smaller mirrors, revealing intricate details: carved flowers, angelic faces, and symbols she didn't recognize. Lucas filmed, narrating, "Day one at the Mansion of Shadows. My sister's restoring these relics, and I'm capturing every moment." But as the sun began to set, strange things started to happen. One freshly cleaned mirror reflected a different room, a darker version of the hall, with broken furniture and a hunched figure in the corner. "Lucas, look at this," Mariana exclaimed, pointing. He adjusted the camera, but the reflection returned to normal. "Must be the light," he said, though he didn't sound convinced. That night, they camped in the hall, sleeping in bags on the carpet. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the crackling of the fireplace Mariana had lit. She fell asleep first, but Lucas stayed awake, reviewing the footage. That's when he heard a low whisper coming from the covered mirror. "Look, look." He approached, hesitant, and lifted the cloth. The mirror was foggy, but a faint figure appeared, a woman in a long dress, her eyes hollow. Lucas backed away, knocking over the camera, and the whisper stopped. Mariana woke with a start. "What was that?" she asked, alarmed. "Nothing." He lied, but fear had already taken root. In the following days, the work continued, but the tension grew. Mariana noticed that the mirrors reflected movements that didn't match reality: a chair sliding on its own, a door opening without cause. Lucas caught something on video, a shadow passing quickly behind Mariana while she worked, even though no one else was in the room. "This isn't editing," he said, showing her the footage. Mariana frowned. "Maybe it's a reflection from something off-frame. Let's check the big mirror." They approached the covered mirror, and Mariana carefully removed the cloth. The surface was pristine, reflecting them clearly. But Lucas's eyes caught something more. "Did you see that?" he asked, pointing to the reflection. For a brief moment, A figure appeared behind them, a man in an old-fashioned suit, his face partially hidden in shadow. Before they could react, the mirror emitted a deep sound, like a groan. And the temperature dropped. "Put the cloth back," Lucas shouted, but Mariana hesitated. Hypnotized, the figure in the reflection moved, extending a hand toward her, terrified. They decided to investigate the mansion's history, with Ricardo's help. They gained access to old municipal archives. They discovered that Otavio Menezes had been obsessed with mirrors, believing they could reveal secrets from the beyond. In 1975, he conducted a ritual in the main hall, using the large mirror to contact the dead. His servant's account said Otavio screamed for hours before vanishing, and the mirror was covered to seal whatever he had unleashed. Since then, the house had been abandoned, with reports of visitors hearing whispers and seeing shadows. Back at the mansion, Mariana and Lucas found a diary hidden behind a smaller mirror. Otavio's entries described visions of trapped entities he tried to control using the main mirror. A final entry read, "They got me. The mirror is the door. Don't look." Mariana shivered. "He opened something," she murmured. Lucas suggested destroying the mirror, but Mariana resisted. "It's a valuable historical piece. We need to understand it first." On the third night, the mansion felt alive. Whispers echoed from every mirror, and shadows danced in the corners, determined to solve the mystery. Mariana decided to conduct a test, with Lucas filming. She cleaned the large mirror and recited words from the diary that resembled incantations. The air grew heavy, and the reflection changed. The hole in the mirror was engulfed in flames, and shadowy figures surrounded Otavio, who screamed for mercy. "Help us," a voice whispered, and a pale hand emerged from the mirror, grabbing Mariana's arm. Lucas pulled her back, but the entity, a woman with a deformed face, partially emerged, dragging Mariana toward the glass. "She wants freedom," Lucas shouted, throwing a chair at the mirror. The impact caused it to crack, and the entity recoiled with a shriek. Mariana collapsed, gasping, red marks on her arm. "We're destroying this now," Lucas said, grabbing a hammer. With the hammer, Lucas shattered the large mirror, scattering shards across the hall. A cold wind blew through, carrying the whispers away. And the shadows vanished. Mariana, still, dazed, saw a vision in the broken glass, Otavio and the entities dissolving into light. "They're free," she murmured, but the cost was high. The mark on her arm pulsed, and she began to have visions, reflections of places she'd never been. Voices calling her name. Days later, Ricardo arrived to inspect the work. Upon seeing the shattered mirror, he was furious, but Mariana explained everything. He relented, agreeing to seal the mansion again. Lucas edited the footage into a video titled "Between Mirrors and Shadows," which went viral. But Mariana refused to watch it. The mark on her arm wouldn't heal, and at night she heard whispers in her home mirrors, as if something had followed her. Months later, Mariana quit art restoration. Unable to face mirrors without fear, Lucas continued the channel but avoided the mansion. Afraid of reopening the portal, the house was sold. But the new owners reported similar phenomena, suggesting the entities had not fully departed. Between Mirrors and Shadows became a legend on the internet. But for Mariana, it was a reminder that some doors, once opened, never truly close. The end.